Happy holidays, everybody. We are made it to another NBA Christmas season. Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's making moves, doing things they want to do, all in an effort to make their team better going into next season, man. If you're not excited, man, I don't know what to tell you, man, but we are back in it, man.
Probing, piercing, spinning, hanging for the lead. And gets the ball, puts up a three-pointer. Bang! Steph Curry. Bryant on the move with the jump.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP, Joe Paul, back in the motherfucking building. Everybody's having a great day, wonderful afternoon, all that good stuff. We are back to talk about some free agency, man. So, lots happened since the last time we talked. I believe the last video I tried to talk about, the Clippers were saying that they didn't want to give Paul George a contract extension. They stood firm on that. They were like, we're not giving you that fourth year. So PG said, fuck it, bro. I'm out of here. So Paul George is now a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. He signed a 4-year, $212 million deal to join Philly, and now that he's going to be over there with Joel Embiid, with Tyrese Maxey. And on paper, man, they look like an amazing team. They were also able to re-sign Kelly Oubre also, I believe, last night after coming to terms with Paul George. So this Philadelphia 76ers team is definitely retooled. They're definitely revamped. They've come really, this is probably like their third iteration of the Joel Embiid experience. They tried it with Ben, they tried it with James. I guess you could say they tried it with just Maxey and Joel last year. And here they are now. They got Maxey, they got Joel, they got PG. And like I said, on paper, it looks fantastic. On paper, you really can't really find many holes inside that Sixers lineup. But unfortunately, the games are not played on paper. You know what I'm saying? You're really gonna have to. We're really relying on the health of Joel Embiid, the health of Paul George, and just I don't know, bro. I'm not somebody who has a whole bunch of crazy faith in it. I'm definitely somebody who's stock in Paul George has definitely dwindled very high. I would say my stock in Joel Embiid also has taken a hit too in the past recent years. Just the fact that if you can't remain healthy and stay on the floor, then why would I go out my way to believe that you're going to, make that change? Just I guess it's like this. It only does take 1 year. In 2019, Kawhi Leonard was able to stay healthy for a good portion of the entire season. He had a healthy playoff run. They were able to cap off a championship. It only does take one healthy playoff run for you to, capture that championship. I guess I just don't believe in the possibility of it happening. I don't believe that Joel Embiid will stay healthy through an entire playoff run. I don't believe in the playoff performer that is Paul George. Also, I said in the previous video, just he's somebody who time and time again will prove to you that he's just not somebody to be relied on in the playoff environment. Just this past playoffs and the one round they played against, the one round they played against Dallas, I believe PG only averaged 19 points per game. So it's just like I said, man, on paper it looks fantastic. But I guess what I don't like about this deal is that it kind of does. It confuses me as to why they keep trying to take the ball out of Tyrese Maxey's hands. I feel like last year in the playoffs and during the season when Joel was hurt and everything, Tyrese Maxey proved that he was somebody who can be your primary ball handler, who can lead your offense and take that role that James Harden took and that Ben Simmons took and really thrive in it. And now they keep trying to pawn it off to another person, because I know that PG won't be the point guard, he won't be the primary ball handler, but he's somebody who's going to get the ball in space, and he'll be relied on to make decisions with the ball in his hand, whether it be scoring, whether it be passing. And it's just why are we not trusting in our young superstar that is Tyrese Maxey? I guess that's probably my biggest negative from the entire trade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. As for the Clippers, man, they are having the absolute worst time to be having a fire sale right now. You know what I'm saying? PG left them. Russ is rumored to be leaving, and I believe he's linked to the Denver Nuggets right now. And what they did do is that they re-signed James Harden to a 2-year, $70 million contract, and that's just wow. Talk about a cherry on top to a shit show of an offseason, man. You lose your second best player. You lose really who was probably your third best player up before the whole James Harden trade, and that changed the whole dynamic of things. And now we're going to give $35 million for the next 2 years to James Harden that's past declined. I believe I saw the chart from like the past like 5-6 years of his scoring. Started off at 38 points per game. We have come all the way down to 16 points per game for James Harden. And hey, let's look on the bright side. Maybe this is a situation where James Harden is going to be able to get back to his Houston roots. He'll have the ball in his hand. There's a good chance that he'll be without Kawhi Leonard for at least 20 to 25 games throughout the season. So maybe this is this opportunity to kind of just like get back to that mold. But the days of James Harden being a number one option leading you to a championship, some will say they never began, but they definitely have come and went. And then it really just going to come down to what the PG's health. I don't think that they really have enough money right now to put to clean up around the edges for this Clippers team, and just going into the next year with that new stadium. I believe their lease for the Crypto Center actually ended today. So for that to be happening right now, it's just like worst possible time to be having it all fall apart for you. But honestly, bro, that is what the Clippers is. That is what the Clippers do. You know what I'm saying? Like these past 6 years, or the past 6 years of the Paul George and the Kawhi Leonard era have been nothing but this over and over and over again. You have a little bit of hope, but usually at the end of it, you end up defeated. You end up crushed. You know what I'm saying? They go up 3-1 against Denver, and you know what I'm saying? You're thinking like, hey, this is the chance we're going to get an LA versus LA Western Conference Finals, and in perfect Clipper fashion, we're watching Paul George hit the ball off the side of the backboard, and we're watching them blow 3 double-digit leads in 3 back-to-back games, and they're going home. In 2021, you know what I'm saying? Kawhi, they're having a great playoff run. Kawhi Leonard's playing out of his absolute mind. You finally get your hopes up. You get to feeling like, hey, this is the time, this is the year. They're actually going to put it together, and boom, Kawhi Leonard tears his ACL. Their chance of winning a championship is basically null and void in that point. 2022, I don't think they even make the playoffs. I believe they lose in the play-in. 2023, they lose in the first round. Kawhi Leonard also gets hurt in the first round. And in 2024, again, a first-round injury, or injury actually before the first round, this time for Kawhi, causes him to miss a majority of that first-round series. And Paul George gives you his annual playoff P, Paul George shit show performance. And you're back going to the offseason thinking, what's next? What's it going to be? And truth be told, there's nothing next for this Clippers team. There's nothing left for them really to hold on to. This iteration of the Clippers, as we know it, is done. It's finished. You know what I'm saying? They have done a great job of now going into 2 separate, I guess, different eras, with the Chris Paul era and the Kawhi and PG era, and they've all led to the exact same result. Disappointment year over year over year over year. And this is why they are the Lakers' little brother. To make things even worse, I guess what really hammers home the fact that the Clippers are a loser franchise and have been a loser franchise, the fact that they had a chance to retool off of Paul George. Golden State offered them CP3, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and I believe a couple of first-round picks. And instead of recouping their losses, because listen, you guys had all last season to re-sign Paul George. There were talks about Paul George's contract extension, I believe since the beginning of the season last year. And you keep just time goes by, and you hear them saying, we're going to get it done. Oh, we're not even worried about it. We're going to get it done. And you just see that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You guys, the writing's on the wall. PG comes out and he tells you like, hey, I'm going to resign somewhere else. And instead of flipping him and getting some kind of assets for him, you guys just decide to stand packed, stick to your guns, and now you've lost the man for nothing. And now going into next season, you have nothing to look forward to. And that's just what you can expect from the Los Angeles Clippers for next season. So, hey, man, I'm glad that I'm not somebody that's honestly given, you know what I'm saying, I guess, put financial investment into the Los Angeles Clippers. I just have given I just believe in them. I believed in Kawhi Leonard. I thought that he was the best player in the league when he got there. I thought PG was, you know what I'm saying, one of the best players that we had in the league when he signed there, coming off his MVP, he didn't win the MVP, but coming off his MVP votes and everything. And they just didn't get it done. And that really, that's a shame, man. That's a shame, because I know that those people in LA, the Clippers fans, if there are any, they deserve better than what the Clippers have given them. And like I said, it's not all their fault. There's injuries, there's things that are outside of their control, but you just deserve better than what the decision making for the Clippers brass. It just, oh man, that's just tough, man. But fuck it, man. Let's get less depressing. We're actually gonna keep talking about Golden State. We're gonna talk about Klay Thompson. All right. So apparently the Klay Thompson and the Golden State pairing has reached its conclusion. You know what I'm saying? Klay Thompson feels very disrespected about, you know what I'm saying, how things have been handled with his contract extension, I guess over the season and I guess after the season. And I believe he's told the team he's going to sign somewhere else, or he's going to, you know, he's leaving. You know what I'm saying? He will not be back. So the Splash Brothers era in Golden State is finished. And I guess like just to start, man, like you just gotta say, man, what a hell of a ride, I guess, for, you know, for Steph, for Klay, for Dre, for them to do what they did over the course of their decade-long run. They won 4 championships. You know what I'm saying? They have countless moments where you just saw, you know what I'm saying, the pairing of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, and you were mind blown. You know what I'm saying? Like you see Klay Thompson, I believe he had 37 points in a quarter. You see him drop 60 points in a game, 60 points in 3 quarters on 11 dribbles. You see Steph Curry, he comes out and he gives you I believe it was his record was 12 threes or 13 threes, and then Klay comes, he breaks it and gives you 14 threes, or maybe it was the other way around. It's just like, wow, like that was a crazy ride, and for it to be coming to an end like this, it almost doesn't feel real. It almost doesn't feel like it's something that's actually going to happen. Like you almost can't envision. Oh, actually, let me not say that, because I was gonna say you almost can't envision Klay Thompson playing in another jersey. But oddly enough, out of the 3 of them, out of Steph, out of Klay, out of Dre, oddly enough, you just see that Klay Thompson could play somewhere else. Maybe because it's just like his play style somewhere that could fit absolutely anywhere. It's not the same thing where Steph is the engine of the team and Draymond really can only be Draymond on the Warriors. Like you feel like Klay Thompson could have been Klay Thompson wherever he got drafted. He just got drafted to the perfect situation for him. But yeah, man, it doesn't feel real. He's linked to both. I believe it's the Lakers. He's linked to the Mavericks. He was linked to the Sixers and the Clippers for a little bit. But I think that with Paul George leaving and then making a couple of deals along the edges, they don't have the same exact amount of money to pay him, and he'll be probably more than likely a Laker or a Maverick going into next season. Literally, as I'm sitting here recording this video, Klay Thompson just signed a 3-year, $50 million contract to join the Dallas Mavericks. So now we will have I guess we'll call it a big 3 of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, and Klay Thompson. I think like that's a big move for them. For a team that made it to the finals last year, and when they got to the finals, their biggest issue was knocking down the wide open threes. I think adding a guy like Klay Thompson is just the perfect addition for them. It's a perfect addition for him. And if Klay's even able to get a resemblance of his defensive ability back, I think that this is going to end up being like a home run signing for the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? They got him for a very good deal, 3-year, $50 million. So that comes out to what, like about $16 million a year, or $16.5 million a year. I think that's a fantastic value for him. I think that's a great contract for the Mavericks. I guess my big confusion here is that the Warriors were willing to give Klay Thompson, I believe it was upwards of $25 million a year, and he felt disrespected, felt like that wasn't enough. So why was it that he was okay with leaving Golden State to take really a nine almost $10 million pay cut? Like I said, it's a great deal for Dallas. I guess I'm happy for Klay. I guess he got what he wanted. He got out of Golden State. But I just don't understand like where the relationship really fractured between the two. I guess we'll find out as, you know, reports come out after he leaves and everything. But yeah, Klay Thompson is now officially a Dallas Maverick. I guess the thing that really confuses me about all this is that Klay Thompson felt disrespected by the Warriors because of this most recent contract situation. But the Warriors also gave Klay a big contract extension when he tore his ACL in the finals. So he tore his ACL, he tore his Achilles, and they stayed by him. They supported him, and you know they gave him the big deal and all that. So I'm not entirely sure why he feels disrespected by the team. I'm not sure why he feels like I honestly just feel like Klay Thompson is going through like some kind of like weird identity crisis where he's just like, I don't know. I guess he's just over, you know, the Golden State experience. He's over just how things are. He's over being tied to, I guess, the Golden State name. And like, I honestly don't understand where the frustration comes from on Klay Thompson's part. I get that he was frustrated with his, his play over this past season. You know, he had a couple of really bad moments, really times where he didn't look like he was like really able to be out there on the floor anymore. But I still believe that he has the ability to play. But yeah, I just don't understand where this frustration really came from Klay. But regardless of it, man, the Splash Brothers era in Golden State is finished, and that's just That's kind of mind-blowing to me, can't lie. But moving on, man, we're going to talk about a couple more signings that happened today. So Chris Paul signed with the San Antonio Spurs on a 1-year, $11 million deal. Absolutely love that deal. Absolutely love them bringing in a guy like Chris Paul to come out here and to mentor, the young guards that are on that Spurs team. I believe they still have Trey Jones. They got a Devin Vassell there. They just brought on Stephon Castle out of the draft. So I think that bringing in a guy like Chris Paul, if Chris Paul can do nothing else, Chris Paul can definitely mentor people on how to play the point guard position. There's not many people that have played the position better than him. So I absolutely love that for him, and I think that we're going to see a lot of opportunities where I think this is going to be a year where we actually get to see Wemby kind of like, I guess, take a leap. I'm laughing because it's like it's year 2. Like you're not expected to really take a leap in your year 2. But this is where we're going to see Wemby unleashed, because last year you could say that at various points throughout the season he didn't have somebody who was there to actually be able to pass him and get him the ball. He made a lot of opportunity. He made a lot of things happen for himself. Towards later parts of the season, Trey Jones got involved, and the team overall got better at finding him in his spots. But I think a guy like Chris Paul is a master facilitator, a master, court manager, and I think that we're just going to see that. Like, I'm just super ecstatic for what this means for Wemby. Super hyped for what this means for Wemby, and for Chris Paul, for him to be in his last couple years, I think this is a nice destination for him to be there in San Antonio with Pop and a nice fan base that treats legends well. You know what I'm saying? They've had Tony, they've had Tim, they've had Manu, so just I think that's a great pairing for the both of them. All right. KCP is going to be joining the Orlando Magic on a 3-year, $66 million deal. And this is an amazing pickup for the Orlando Magic, a team that really struggled with the three-point ball last year. I believe they were actually one of the worst three-point teams in the playoff series against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You really just saw that them not being able to knock down outside shots really, really hampered their ability to, win that series and to move on in the playoffs. And for them to get a guy like KCP, who is a great 3-and-D player, he has great championship DNA playing on the Lakers and the Nuggets. I just love that fit for them. For the Nuggets though, man, the Nuggets they are having a lot of belief in their development of Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and all that, because this is back-to-back years that they have let core pieces of their lineup essentially walk for nothing. Just last year they let Bruce Brown walk for absolutely nothing, and now KCP's gone. And this was a team that you really saw the strength in their starting five. You felt like they had the best starting five in all of basketball, but now you're at a point where they are drastically hampered. They're not going to be as dominant as they once were. And going into next season with the current state of the Western Conference, I feel like I guess going into this offseason, I still felt like the Denver Nuggets were the best team in the West. You know what I'm saying? Granted, I know they lost to Minnesota, but that was a 7-game series where the Timberwolves had to come back from a down. They were down 20. They came back from a 20-point deficit on the road to come out and to beat the Nuggets. I still just felt like the Nuggets, they had, like, with the continuity that they had, with the lineup that they had, that they were still the best team out there in the West. You know what I'm saying? But now I feel like with them losing KCP, depending on what they do throughout the rest of this offseason, I know they're talking about potentially bringing in Russ in a sign and trade. It's just like, hey, you just feel like their strength was that continuity. Their strength was that team chemistry they had, kind of like the same similar situation with the Knicks and with the Boston Celtics, where they just had a fantastic lineup that fit together. Now without KCP, I'm worried. I'm very, very worried. I'm actually I'm asking my man Eli, because my boy Eli, he's a Nuggets fan. I'm asking him how he feels about KCP leaving, and I can only imagine, man, he's gonna be a little nervous, man. You gotta be nervous if you're a Nuggets fan. Losing these valuable pieces and not necessarily having people to come in place and to fill that void. So it's gonna be very interesting what happens with the Nuggets going into next season. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Isaiah Hartenstein leaving the New York Knicks for OKC on a 3-year, $87 million deal. OKC is having an amazing offseason so far. You know what I'm saying? Them getting rid of Josh Giddey, them bringing in Alex Caruso, now they're bringing in Isaiah Hartenstein. They re-signed Isaiah Joe, and they re-signed Aaron Wiggins on great contracts. I believe they came out to like $12 million a year for the next 3 or 4 years. And hey, for a team that going into last season, you thought they would be a play-in team, and they turn around and they end up being the number 1 seed in the entire stacked Western Conference. For them to be retooling how they are around the edges and filling those voids that they have, their addition by subtraction is on an absolute crazy high right now. Like, they're getting better because they are just losing. They're cutting a lot of the fat they had. They're cutting Josh Giddey, who was unplayable during various times throughout the NBA playoffs. They're cutting Gordon Hayward, who was unplayable basically the entire season ever since they traded for him. They are putting it all together, and they're bringing in things that they really, really need. What they really desperately needed last year in that series against the Dallas Mavericks was height. They needed rebounding. Chet Holmgren was really out there by himself going up against Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington and Derek Lively, and he held his own for a good majority of it, but he's only one man. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Williams is only able to do so much, and I think that was the only bigs they had in the entire series. So them getting a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein, who had an amazing playoff run for the New York Knicks. I feel like Isaiah Hartenstein, he earned every single bit of his $87 million contract based off how he played when Mitchell Robinson went down in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? His ability to rebound, his ability to hit that floater in the lane, to protect the rim, to just play solid defense and just be on the floor, and just really just like he was a part of I believe he was part of the reason he was the reason why they won game 2 against the Sixers, because he got the rebound that led out to the kick out that led to Dante DiVincenzo's 3. And like him on this team, like I feel like now the possibilities are endless. You know what I'm saying? They were also OKC also brought in Nikola Topic out of the draft, but he won't be playing for a couple of years. But going into next year, you gotta just feel like OKC has retooled the complete right way. OKC is in position to remain in that one spot out there in the West. And yeah, man, I'm hyped for him. I'm very, very hyped for him. And I think that's all we got so far for day 1 of free agency. So I'll be back dropping these videos back throughout over the course of the off season. So if anything else happens crazy over for the rest of today, you'll see that shit tomorrow. All right, so leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite deal of the off season so far has been, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and love, family. Deuces.